I'll tell you this, everybody has or has had problems with communication. Don't worry, you're not the only one. But what's so scary about it? And how do we fix it? Hello, I'm Jacinda, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about communication, which is scary. Not everybody likes that topic for some reason. So here's what we're going to be going through. We're going to be going through what communication is, why it's scary, the three types of fighting styles. So basically, like when you're in a fight, what type of person are you? Let's get started. All right, what is communication? The Google definition is the sending and receiving of information, but I say it's giving value and getting it back, which is basically the same thing, but it's like value just sounds better. And also with like communication stuff, types of communication. There's communicating with your boss at work, there's communicating in your relationship that something's bothering you, there's communicating in your friendships, relationships, basically just like value. It does correlate with our emotions though, so since a lot of value can get sensitive because we all have different values, we all have different ways we represent value. Like, let's say this, we say that we have value in our money, we say we have value in our traits, character traits, whatever, right? So it's really like subjective. The word value is very subjective, so I hope you understand that. But value can get sensitive, and what I mean by that is when you're talking about your emotions, you're being raw and you're being real. So this goes into the relationship aspect, and yes, relationship video. Also, sorry, which is a good and bad thing. One, it's good because you get to communicate with each other, talk to each other, so you guys don't have like any real problems. Or when you do have problems, you talk it out. You get to know each other more. You get to know what type of person y'all are. Better understanding. Two, not so good, is when you guys have misunderstandings. So what you're saying gets lost in interpretation, which happens in a lot of relationships, unfortunately. But of course, communication, our type of communication is verbal, but there's like four different types of communication. I'll say that. There's verbal, nonverbal, visual, and another one. I forgot which one it is. But I'm mainly going to be talking about verbal communication because, let's be honest here, it's the one we use the most. All right. So, what's so scary about it? What's so scary about communication and admitting my feelings? Well, there's a lot of factors, but I can name some. But if I want something, I look desperate.
But how will they react if I tell them that this thing is bothering me?
How can I actually open up to someone and talk about my feelings? What if I'm just starting a fight for no reason? Does that sound about right? Don't worry, I'll personalize it a little bit. So, the first type of people I'm going to talk about are the fixers slash the venters. These people want to talk and fix the problem as soon as possible. So, they vent about their feelings, but they're still trying to fix the problem while they're expressing them. But they also try to be as patient as possible because they got to get the problem fixed one way or another. There's no point being impatient. You can say they're more peacemakers, like maybe they're in the middle of a fight being like, don't do this, whatever, right? Like the person that breaks up the fight, like those type of people. They're usually very secure and they communicate their emotions well because they're a venter. They're expressing how they feel and they're talking about how they feel. But that's for the majority of securely attached people. They're fixers. Next type is the hiders. This is for the avoidance, alright? So they need time and space before they can communicate. Because after they communicated, they usually hide and they need to take some time to reevaluate things, think about things, go through things, like really think about it. A lot of people are hiders, but it's also an excuse to run away from your problems. But taking a short break just to think through everything, that's good. I think everybody should do that. Because you can't be like a venter. You can't just like talk about your feelings and get over the problem immediately. No, that stuff takes time. So that's where the hider comes in. I feel like everybody's a hider though. Let's be honest here. In their own head, they are. Because everybody needs time to process their emotions. But hey, eventually they get the job done. So can't even lie. It works. Third type is the explosive. Okay? So it's gonna be like a bomb. These people, they dump all their feelings and emotions on people before actually talking about it. Okay? So these people are the ones that are like, why did you do this? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Why did you hurt me this way? Those type of people. Okay. Which is like, let's be honest here. A lot of people are like this, which might seem selfish to some people because it's just like, why are you dumping all this? Why do you want me to see your side of the story before you get to see mine and talk about it? Like, why can't you do that, right? And Usually they dump all their feelings, dump all their emotions, do all of that, show them how this person was wrong, okay, and they hide. And then they come back and talk, which is normal. It's normal. But it does seem kind of selfish because if you think about it, it's pretty selfish because you're not thinking about the other person. You're thinking about yourself in the moment, but some people need that. These people are kind of the opposite of the fixer, which the fixer is like you're fixing the problem while venting your emotions. So it's kind of opposite from the fixer though. And these are the people that are honest, sure, but these are the people that want to be right. Like they don't care about the other person and how they feel at the moment. These are the people that want to be right. They don't care how it makes someone like a fixer feel when they're dumping their feelings on them. It makes the fixer feel pretty bad. It's sad, yeah, but let's be honest here. All of us have been through that. It's very relatable because sometimes we get tunnel vision and think that the world revolves around us when we're angry, at least, which it doesn't, obviously, because like it's very hard to keep your composure when you're angry. So I get that. Like it might seem self-centered and they hurt people, but you would probably do the same thing too. Or at least past self would do the same thing. Like you used to throw tantrums, right? Exact same thing, basically. Which you can't even say it's about maturity level, but I think this type is like the most relatable to people. So how do we fix it? Well, strive to be like the fixer, the type to vent your emotions, but solve it while you're talking. Solve it while you're expressing your emotions. Be like the fixer. But if you are incapable of doing that, at least when you hide away, try like in the moment try to consider the other person's feelings when you're arguing because that will help a lot. It'll help a lot because you have to consider the other person's feelings as well as your own because you're in a relationship. You signed up for it. You're putting someone else's needs and wants with yours. You're not putting it above your needs and wants, obviously, but you're doing it with yours, so y'all are together. And this is the way of like marriage, this is a way of like long lasting relationships. You gotta make yourself comfortable enough to talk about it in the first place. And if you're not comfortable enough around that person, then maybe you should reevaluate being in a relationship with them. Because if you're not comfortable enough to open up to somebody, then maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship, period. And it doesn't, that person can be the nicest person ever. But if you feel like you're forced to talk about your feelings and stuff, then you might have to go. But being able to express your emotions and talk honestly about how you feel and be vulnerable is a skill. I'll say that. It's a skill that you learn with experience, obviously. So that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching and make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that, and stay tuned in for more. Bye bye.